Hello and good morning.
Good morning. Hey guys. How's it going for everyone? Hey Savvy. Hey Tibbs. Hey Mouse Vice. How have you been? And Steiny too. Good morning to everyone.
Good morning. Oh, cool! You've been working on your computer. Then he says that he's optimized and cleaned up his setup and the wiring around it as well.
Wow.
Cool. That sounds like something I should do.
You know, maybe one day when you have time to give your computer some TLC, you can sit down with it, feather duster, and just have at it.
How about some aromatic oils as well, like some candles?
Yeah, rub it into the casing. Make it smell good.
Been working really.
Make it feel appreciated for all the hard work it's been doing.
Because you gotta remember all the work hours I'm putting in, it's right there with me.
Yeah.
When does it get a break?
Sometimes it stays up all night doing stuff, rendering things.
Yeah, what are you working on today, India?
I'm doing some Savage Town.
You doing some Savage?
Yep, we're getting a little bit further with this animation. I'm going to try and get his lip sync roughly in. If we can get the rough frames in, then it'll just be a matter of cleanup. A little bit of polish.
I must say, it's looking really cool.
Why, thank you for saying, Michael.
You're welcome for me saying, India.
I feel like it's early days at the minute, but hopefully it ends up looking okay. We'll see.
So yesterday, India added the audio, the voiceover provided by our client, Declan Shalvey. He did a bit of voice work for us. Do you know if that's going to be the final audio, or whether he was wanting to get someone else to do it?
Oh, it's kind of up to him.
Probably the final.
Yeah, probably. Like, he can just keep this audio if he wants. If he wants to get, you know, someone else to do it who he thinks would be better, then so long as the timing is roughly the same, he's welcome to.
I think it's great. So he was just wondering.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, I think it kind of adds to the charm of it. I'm trying to resolve in my head how to get from this shoulder to this hand, and I may not be able to, but we see. Oh, sorry, tomorrow you get your teeth pulled. Oh no.
Ouchie.
Jeez. But I mean, I'm assuming you're doing it because you need to. So, also, yay, oral health. So you have nice long teeth. Tib, you ridiculous. Like Nosferatu.
Pulling those teeth like taffy.
Make them nice and flexible. Hey SB, good morning.
Hello.
Arctic, good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
Yoho. That reminds me of the song from One Piece. There's a Yoho song. I think it's called Bink Sake, and it's very cool.
What reminds you of it?
One of the lyrics is yo ho ho ho.
Oh, I just read the chat. I see. Did you have any dreams last night, by the way?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Oh. I like dream talk.
It's kind of like you've went to a theater the night before, and you get to share a unique viewing premiere with someone. And you don't have to worry about spoilers because you could never see it.
And you can read a lot into what the dreams mean.
Yeah. I had this dream where Dan and Aaron was there, and we murdered you, and then we went on a boat trip, and it was cool.
What could it mean?
Disclaimer that didn't in fact happen. That was a joke.
SB says, I now have time to sketch out an animation practice I've been meaning to sketch during my finals. That's awesome. I'm assuming you made it through your finals.
India was not up working past 2 a.m. Tib.
I don't know whether Tib might know that I was up working past 2 a.m. Tib might have ways of knowing. That sounds very off-brand for me, though. I'd never do that. Never. We definitely got more than 4 hours sleep or something. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, though. SB says sailing is not a joke, Doig.
Sailing is serious business.
Yeah, I'll thank you to take it seriously, Mike.
Okay, yeah. Consider me taking sailing seriously now.
Savio, that's awesome.
D-Helm? D-Helm says,
Yay! Hello, Birdie.
Ah, I thought that maybe the Verti.
How are you doing, me pal? I was going to say me friend, and then for some reason I bailed into pal at the last minute, so it ended up weird and kind of garbled.
I really like your Grookey animation Verti that you've been working on.
Oh my gosh, it's so adorable.
Yeah.
It makes me happy in my heart every time I see it.
Our voices sound so nice now. Yeah, we
Thank you.
upgraded our voices. I traded mine in and got the voice of a improv. Of a sea lion. That has slowed down sea lion.
A slowed down sea lion.
Yeah. Oh?
I'd say it's not half bad.
Thank
You're okay. As you can tell, I got Morgan Freeman's voice.
Yeah, you can do the epic trailers and you can play God in any film.
Yes.
Let's have a sampling of your celestial being voice.
Hey there,
How's it going?
mortals.
I'm just going to shine my light down on you.
I'm Morgan Freeman. There you go.
Uncanny.
I know, right? Oh wow! The cat just jumped in Savio's window. It's gone. Damn it. It was so fast.
It was on the search for food, probably.
It found a Savio. I like to imagine your neighbours jumped up at your window now, Savio.
My mum's neighbor's cat jumped into her house once. Now they're not.
I don't like the fact that you said once. What happened to it?
It became my mum's cat.
Oh. See how it is.
Well, I guess it was more than once, and then she adopted it, and then there was agreed upon part upon her and the neighbor where they were like, "You can have the cat." My mum was like, "Okay," and now it's my mum's cat.
Was that Charlie?
So there's both of them.
Oh wow.
I think it was the same neighbor as well.
If I was a neighbour, I'd be like,
Stop stealing a cat.
Yeah.
I think, from what I've heard, that it's like a neglectful to pets home, so I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Oh, I'm glad there's somewhere they can get lots of love and snuggles.
Oh, they get so much fuss.
I gave life to the penguins, did I? Oh, yes, of course I did, because I'm Morgan Freeman.
It's kind of funny having known my mum's cats for like a couple of years now. Like when I first met them, Charlie, the male one, was so much smaller yet still had the same size head, and now he's just a big chunky thing.
Yeah, he's got a chunky head.
And
But
Millie,
good for thinking.
Millie, the other one, she's pretty much the same except for her behavior. Like she used to be a lot more skittish, and now both of them just love like fuss. Like they will just sit and take and like just sit and take.
Absorb the fuss.
They'll absorb fuss no matter how much you throw at them.
Become stronger. Savio says, "Where, Buffy?"
Oh, she was just here.
She was, but she's not interested in us because we don't have chicken.
She's taken to drinking from India's cup.
Yep. I giveth and I taketh away. She sups from my cup.
She sups.
And then she pees in front of the fridge.
Yeah.
And in the bathroom so that you step into it when you walk in. And probably in many other unknown places that we just haven't discovered yet.
Probably. That's my fear. That, like, we only know the tip of the iceberg.
Morgan, free woman. What concept, I like it.
Oh, thank you, Evan. Welcome to the stream.
Oh yeah, thanks so much. Welcome. We hope that you enjoy hanging out with us and our buds. We're all pretty cool.
So he's like, hey, it's real nice to hear your voices again. As you talk about cat pee.
You know, that's what you come here for, the quality content. Just like Fluffy's cat pee, you can smell it a mile away.
I propose a topic change. Let's talk about...
Toast!
Okay.
No, that's not. I'm really hungry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, India's not had her morning ritual yet.
Haven't had my,
Breakfast.
What's the one where it's like, hunger strikes?
Shreddy?
That's Shreddy.
Is that Shreddy's?
The one where hunger is a character. An angry blue dude. Anyway, whatever it is, I haven't had it and I want it.
Yeah, so if any of you guys ever like made artwork specifically for merch, because I've experienced that lately and it kind of wrecked my brain. Just like thinking, okay, I'm making this for the client. I need to make sure they like it, but I'm also making this for the client's audience as well, and trying to make sure they'll like it too. I don't know, indeed. Like, did you find that when you were making some of the stuff you were doing, that you were like second guessing yourself, or were you just kind of like, hey, I gotta get this done and these will be good?
No, for me, I just more wanted to put in a bit more pizzazz and animation to them than I feel pizzazz and time, I guess, into them than I felt like I was able to.
Right, gotcha.
Just because there was a very tight turnaround on the merch we were doing, and doing them alongside other work, I felt like I had to wrap it up as soon as possible. So I would have liked to experiment a bit more.
Right, yeah.
You know, but But what came out of it, I think, because the team were feeding back on it and they were letting me know what they thought about it, and I got some draw overs on them and such, I feel like the bits of merch I did, came out well for what they were. And I know that not everyone will like them, but I think there'll be a subset of people who will.
Yeah, I think you gotta remember that you're not trying to make.
Yeah, it's targeted towards specific people. Maybe that's the thing, is because yours are much more general, your pieces of merch. But the merch I was doing was very like chibi and cute.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be a bunch of people who really, really dig that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're a little bit more niche.
Yeah, but there'll equally be some people who don't dig that at all, but that's okay because I knew I was designing for a subset of people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the same with yours.
I'll have to see.
I think it's looking fantastic though. I can't wait to show the team!
Yeah.
We'll get to show them today and get their feedback on it. Which will be really nice.
Yeah, so that topic is just something that's been on my mind lately. I can't really give the details of it yet, but I'm sure I'll show you the results.
Bertie says that Epi has done some merch design before.
Oh, cool.
One of the things I really like about conventions being open to all kinds of different artists from all over now is that there's way more people who have made their own stickers and merch and books and such.
That's true, yeah. Usually that's for themselves, which is still hard, don't get me wrong.
I've loved seeing the process though, designing something for screen printing where you can only have limited colours and they have to build up one on top of the other. That makes me really, really want to design a t-shirt just for us. That's
like specifically for that approach, yeah?
Yeah. I just think it's so rad.
Yeah, I had to learn about halftone artwork lately, and it's pretty fun, to be honest.
Hey there, Tyler. NDA stuff sucks. Yeah, it's a necessary evil, you know. Wish we didn't have to keep things under wraps. But at the same time, I understand completely why the company would want to have control over how it's released.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder what would happen if a company just had no NDA.
Yeah, I guess that's how leaks happen, I guess.
Yeah, would you think it would really affect the success of a show?
What was that you were saying?
Do you think it would really affect the success of a show if there was a show which had no NDA?
I don't know, because you can see how independent game developers, they show whatever they want during the development thing, and building awareness for what they're making is part of their marketing as they go along. So I don't know. I think it really depends on what the purpose of the thing itself is. I think NDAs are there to protect you in case things don't follow through, because you don't want to have a fan be like, that looks cool, and then it not happen, and then have where's that thing? I think it's more protection of that than trying to limit when something releases.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting as an experiment to do a very short run of a show where nothing is NDA'd. For one thing, I think that way more people would understand the process of making a show and animation and everything if they could actually see everything coming together.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's too wild a concept, but I think it'd be very interesting to have almost like a open show where people can just see what's going on with it. Everyone is kind of involved in the development because they can all see what's happening with it.
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah, Bertie is a chunky middle finger. He mad. I'm trying to draw in the style of Philip Barrett, who's the artist for the book that this animation is based on.
How are you finding that? Like, do you think you're getting used to it now? You can kind of preempt how they would draw something, or are you still kind of...
I still need to reference the book, I think, because I'm still relying on the basis of knowledge that I have, and I think the fundamental way I draw is very different. It's much more cartoony.
Mm-hmm. I think it's cool to see you push yourself this way, like animating something that's... It's not realism, but it's got a slant. It's less abstract than what you would usually do.
Yeah, like I have to keep an eye on just things like the eye size, which I tend to always exaggerate because I find characters with big eyes easier to emote with and more appealing in general.
Mm-hmm.
But the characters in Savage Town don't have big eyes, so I have to be careful about how much I'm exaggerating them. Do it! Flip it like a pancake! Oh man, no, I want pancake.
I think it actually might be flipped from its original orientation.
Hey Bolter, how's it going? Hey, but Jamie Hewlett's style is pretty awesome. It's always interesting to try and figure out the rules of an artist's look.
He's the gorillas. The artist, right?
Yeah. He made Tank Girl.
He made Tank Girl?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Did you not know it was the same person?
I didn't realize, no. That's had like films and stuff made of the concept, right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was his comic.
Yep. I think he was a comic artist first.
That's really cool.
Pretty cute. Yeah. Bertie, I completely see that, yeah. I think that's partially why it'll be so interesting to see if it has an effect if people already know.
Yeah. Like you delay anticipation, or not delay, you like dilute anticipation for something if you slow release it.
I appreciate that though, because I'm someone who tries to avoid spoilers. So.
As am I.
I think I need to look at this dude's face. I might get up some reference. Let me see if I can find some online. Just because holding the book while I'm drawing is a bit difficult.
Alright, okay.
Oh, Bolter, I'm sorry to hear that you're so snowed under at the minute with work. I hope you managed to get it all done though. And that you're proud of it. It is awesome. Brian Lee O'Malley. Maybe I've seen his work, but I don't know the name off the top of my head. Okay, that might be the best ref I can get. I have a page up now so I can see. Yeah, I'd be interested to see how an audience would feel if they felt like they were more involved in the process somehow, just by seeing it unfold. Let's redraw this nose entirely.
Yeah, I'm like, I noticed that like certain songs on this platform, they're like close approximations to a tone and feeling of other established songs. I noticed one that was like a battle theme. That sounded very similar to the battle theme from Final Fantasy VIII.
There's one of them which sounds very much like the How to Train Your Dragon melody as well.
Yeah, I think for those that enjoy the process of how something is made, they're usually creators themselves. Like it baffles me sometimes when I think like people who enjoy films don't themselves want to make films, because that's always just been like in the back of my head of like, oh, I love storytelling because I wanted to be a storyteller.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's like not everyone wants to make everything. Some people have peace.
Some people have peace. Yeah, the process of how something is made is super fascinating. When we were making Girl in the Glim, there was a set of pages that we just didn't show at all to leave that part spoiler
a mystery.
A mystery, yeah.
Yeah. People who have read the book will know which part we mean, no doubt.
But yeah, I think it's important to keep something back. And also says, creativity is an affliction, and I will go to my grave believing that.
Why was I cursed?
I'm sorry to say, your child has been afflicted with the bane of creativity.
That's true. I've always entertained the idea of being an actor as well. I don't think I'd be very good, but
do you ever have those like existential moments where you suddenly realize you are you, your life is your life, and like you are like you like suddenly become present to where you are at that given moment?
yeah, I call that getting the fears.
It's I don't associate necessarily like with fear or anything, but I was sitting like on the studio floor like next to Buffy. She must have been like spread out, and I was just petting her, and then for a moment my brain just went, you're sitting in the studio petting a cat, and you're currently working on this, and like it just kind of spiraled out from like, hey, you're you. I was like, oh,
And you'll only ever be one of you. It's a bit mind-blowing. It's like when you look up at the stars and then suddenly you're like, ah!
I think I was like on autopilot trying to get like work finished and completed for a while.
Yeah, sometimes you need to just turn off and get stuff done. And then when you realise, when you become, I guess, conscious or present again, you're like, oh, what's going... This life is strange.
Yeah, I exist. It's a weird kind of little thought process.
Yeah, definitely, Bolter. Like, I don't know how to not make things at this point. Which I don't know whether it's a healthy thing or a non-healthy thing. Like, what do you guys think about being an artist and attributing your self-value to your work? Because that's what I see happen to a lot of artists, and it happens to me too. Is you attribute your worth as a person to how much progress you're making or how good you are at a piece of art or a discipline of art.
People in the chat are talking about how you can know something is about to happen, and that builds anticipation in the storytelling.
Yeah.
Like in the film Titanic, if you haven't seen that yet, I'm gonna say some stuff about it. I think knowing that the inevitable event is gonna happen, while the event is happening, your focus is on how the characters you've come to know will escape that.
Yeah, and of course most films are adapted from books as well. And it's often the people who enjoy the books who are most likely to go and see the film. Yeah, exactly, Bertie. It's such a personal thing. You put so much of yourself into everything you create that it's hard not to look at that and go, well, that's a part of me. You know, which is why it's hard to switch off, I think, sometimes. You want to take a break and not make art for a while, but your self-worth is so tied to the act of making art that not doing it makes you feel like a failure, even though you're just relaxing and taking a break and it's necessary. I don't know, Mike. What do you think?
What's the question?
Just a general discussion on self-worth and art, and how important the two, or how openly the two are tied together.
I think like once you sort of build up momentum, you feel like you owe it to your past self to keep up that momentum. Sometimes that responsibility can get a bit overwhelming. I don't know. I'm trying to think whether I do put my self-worth into what it is I'm making. I think if I don't, I think I'm at the point now where if I don't make something for myself for a while, no matter how much I'm making, the quantity doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
that's interesting. So you're not necessarily fulfilling that need from the work that you are doing for clients at the moment.
Yeah. Like I enjoy the challenge of making stuff for clients. It depends. Like sometimes you get that project where you're like, it does the crossover, and that's really cool. When I say that happened on like the last couple projects I was doing, but like I could feel myself feeling like, I haven't done a painting in a while.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that about you, is that you have a compulsion to do something that is just light and nothing to do with the work that you currently have on.
Yeah.
And you do that at least once every couple of days. You make sure that you spend a couple of hours on something non-related to the work.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a good thing.
Well, I'm trying to work out in my own head whether like I attribute my self-worth to the work. I think there's an element of that, of hey, I'm not making good work at the moment. I really wish I was. But I think I wouldn't have any trouble like taking a month off.
Yeah.
If I could, I would probably be okay with that. That might just be I'm gonna make a joke out of this, that might just be laziness, but I think that's good self-care. Where you're like, hey, I'm gonna like re-energize, do something else.
Yeah, I do too. I think
I'll
it's
be
like
okay at the end of it.
I think it's a healthy respect for your own boundaries. Soft lurk mode.
I think it's important to remember why you do what you do in the first place. What got you started and why you want to do it. I think that can help rejig or reinvigorate.
And why do you do it? Is it
Oh, I do it to get girls.
Hey man, it's worked out pretty well so far.
Yeah. Wow.
You got a Buffy and you got Morgan Freeman. Morgan Free Woman. See you, Tips. Have an awesome day.
Bye bye.
Good luck with everything you do. That's good, Tyler. That sounds like a pretty good approach. It's just tying your self-worth to whether you've had a good day or not, like whether you're happy or not.
I remember watching I think I brought this up before, but I think it's important to remember this.
Go on.
I was watching a live stream from an author called Patrick Rothfuss, and I think he might have been playing the latest release of Fallout way back when. He had a kind of online poll happening on his Twitch channel or whatever, where it was like, hey, donate to this donate to this side and I will stream myself working on the book that he was currently working on, or donate to this side and I'll play Fallout. And both of them were going to I think a charity called World Builders. He was effectively doing it as a way to raise awareness for for the charity work he was doing. And Fallout just won every time. Everyone who was like a fan of his was like, yeah, you can take some time off, have fun, goof off. Anyway.
And that's very interesting though, because Patrick Rothfuss, like his books are very popular, and there's a lot of talk about where's the next book, and people are very like on his case about it. So for people to vote for him to play Fallout instead.
Yeah, I think it's showing support from. It's a way of them showing a bit of kind of solidarity with him. And because he doesn't owe anyone a book, even though he's like, it's going to be a trilogy, he doesn't owe anyone the third. Anyway, he was talking about meeting fans, and one of the questions he kind of keeps being asked after having been published is, what do I do to get published? What do I do to like succeed in this venture? Like, how do I get my books like picked up by a publisher? And it's always a question that kind of puts him on edge, and not because like he doesn't have the answer or anything, but it made him think about how he approached writing his books. Like, he thought it was a little bit of a adding a bit of toxicity to your own like work ethic. For him, if he managed to do a bit of writing each day, then that kept him happy. Like his aim was, I'm gonna write a little bit of my book, and I'm gonna do it. And if you manage to do that, every so often, then for him he was succeeding. But having the goal be, I'm gonna write this and it's gonna get published, means that every day that it doesn't, you haven't succeeded in your own head, your own goal. And I think it kept it light for him.
That's interesting. Do you feel like now with so much pressure attached to the next book, maybe it's become less fun for him?
Possibly. Like he does do a lot of other. He's involved in a lot more now than he would have been back when he was doing the first book.
That's a nice mentality though, and I can empathize with that. That often it can feel like you're doing work for an audience, or because you need to put something on Twitter or receive some validation from an outside source, essentially.
Yeah.
But if the aim is just making yourself happy, it does feel much less toxic and much less fragile and dependent on other people's opinions.
Yeah, I think it's a lot. There's a healthier kind of core to it. I think it's difficult to do that, but in today's sort of everything online climate.
Yeah, I mean, the main issue I have at the minute is just that doesn't feel like there's time to do personal work. Yeah, I think if people had more respect for art in general, then maybe budgets for art would be bigger, and timeframes would be a bit more lenient, and then artists might not have to work their butts off just to make rent. Might be able to treat it more like a day job where they can clock off.
Yeah. Freelance can be a tricky storm to manage. But that topic and that his response to that always sort of stuck with me.
Yeah, I like it. I like that mentality a lot. And I like your mentality a lot of wanting to make sure that you're doing something for yourself. Because I have noticed, like people in the chat have mentioned, it is reinvigorating to do something which is just for you. Doing something which isn't work related. Like 30s Grookey, or some fan art, or just something silly and fun that you wanted to do, can really get your fires going again when you feel run down by other stuff. I think I have to turn this dude a bit more.
I think I might need to up the scale of this hand a little bit.
That's probably the best self-care tip you could offer to an artist, is make sure that you are making time every day for at least just a little bit of fun sketching for yourself, where there's no pressure attached. And you're just doing stuff that you love because you love doing it. I think that does tie into remembering why you did it in the first place too, why you chose art.
Yeah. I remember listening to an animator called Ryan Woodward.
Yes.
Talk about that very topic. He talked about why he made, the animation Thought of You.
Yes.
He didn't intend anyone to ever see that. He did that all for himself.
That was self-therapy.
That was, yeah. he's saying that he was on a flight, I think just himself. I think he's either flying to or from convention, or like he was traveling by himself, and on the flight, he must have been listening to like radio or something, but the song that he animated to came on, and he just broke down, like crying. Something hit him deep, and he's like, I need to
There
make
was a
something.
situation, wasn't there, as well, that he was going through that I felt like was connected to that music.
I'm not sure. I think it was something about it. I don't think he was going through anything bad at the time. I think it was him realizing that like all of his efforts and everything he was doing, all for like commercial gain, or like he was working on so much, but it was all kind of on a work basis. And so yeah, he just like took time out, made that, and kept it in his garage. And it wasn't until like a friend of his like saw it and went, this is off, this is good, like you should show people this. He's like, what, really? Like, I don't think he thought it was terrible or anything. I think he just thought it wasn't like it wasn't for a show. It wasn't it was a story in a way, but like he didn't make it for an audience, he made it for himself. It like reinvigorated him creatively. And during the talk he was talking about how we as kids, when we create, we start off by doing it for ourselves, and as we grow up we learn to like, we're kind of taught to conform to the expectations of others and
Make a career out of it.
Yeah, like you when you start to try and make a career out of it, you have to start to temper like why you're doing it starts to become oh, I'm very glitchy in the audio.
Try giving it a refresh, Savvy. But yeah, just to call attention to something that Hardik said. Paper good. Yes, paper good. Paper the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. If you lose the soul out of something that you're doing purely because you love it, there's not much left after that. So maintaining that feeling of joy is something that can keep you happy, I think, when you have a lot of work on. Rolando says, I hope that Doig is okay.
I don't know what to say, like
it might be a YouTube thing, so maybe refreshing it will work.
Like, we're not dropping any frames, everything seems fine on our end. Oh, the Grookey head turn was an effort to try and get an idea out on a whim rather than overthinking. This is a Verdi D-Helm saying this. Like, the reason that Grookey head tilt was was an effort to try and get an idea out on a whim rather than overthinking myself to exhaustion. That's cool.
Yeah, how did it feel? Getting the idea out super fast while it was fresh. Yeah, and I think I'd agree with that, Bertie. It's just that you have to find a different approach to it.
I think that's the kind of the root of burnout in a lot of cases, is trying to meet the expectations of others at a pace and a rate that is unsustainable over time. Maybe there's an artist equation there.
Yeah, maybe. But I definitely agree. Like, I really enjoy playing my guitar, and I'm not very good at it, but it's an escape. So I don't need to be good at it, you know? It's just something that I do to relieve stress sometimes. It's kind of like if you're just doodling on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Rolando, that's awesome. Out of curiosity, have you ever drawn on paper before? Like, do you have sketch pads or anything?
I like that. I like that where it's just like, you just draw. It's just there.
Hey, David! Good morning.
Hey, David.
Thank you very much, David, for the help last night. We just saw what you were doing this morning, and we really like it.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping us out.
I think I'm gonna figure out a way to combine the approach you had to the lighting into the overall composition and try and find a nice sweet spot. Like, I'm always concerned when I'm doing stuff for print that I don't make things too dark. But I think you need that contrast there to help the light parts pop. So yeah. I need to like figure out where the dark and the light sweet spots are. I think that's one thing I struggle with is value in a lot of the things I do. I sometimes get too like fussed up over what the color choices are.
Yeah. I think I find it hard when you do a value path and you nail the values to maintain those values through adding colour. So the two processes become disconnected for me.
Because I think if you try and like use the value as a base, you it's hard to get that kind of color vibration, I guess is the term I'm gonna use now. Like where the hue kind of shifts. How to explain this? Like, if you have a value thing that you're laying color over the top of, you might just lay down like a yellow or an orange for a certain area, but like if you're just painting it without the value thing, maybe you'll have mixed a bit of green and a bit of like red and blues and stuff in there as well.
Savio says drawing butts is hard. You can do it, Savio. Draw that butt. And that comes back with, butts are great.
Butts are great.
It's true.
I'm sad there's not a butt on this t-shirt. Maybe I can just make the low contrast background just a big butt.
Rolando, it's cool to hear that you have a traditional background. I think it's just because that's what you describing your iPad reminded me of, was being able to just sit down and sketch. It's very akin to me, to the feeling of being able to sit down with a sketchbook and just doodle. And I always find that very refreshing. Sketchbook doodling is always a really nice way to recapture a bit of the joy of just doodling without it needing to be good or needing to be delivered to anyone afterwards.
I think that holds a lot of artists back sometimes, is the feeling of like, I need to make something, but in parentheses at the end is like good at the end.
Good enough to share, yeah. Definitely holds me back. It makes my drawings way more stiff when I'm thinking about doing something other people will like.
Let's just like remove the last word in those sentences. This needs to be. Leave it open. Not even open. Let's make it definitive. Like, you're making a drawing. This needs to be.
It needs to be something that we like. And that's the only criteria for success. or something that we found fun to do. Butt hills.
With butt clouds above them.
And butt bushes.
Butt bushes. And a castle with buttresses.
With butt knights on butt horses.
Wearing butt armor. We did a panel back in April. Was it April? March. And a lot of the questions that we got focused on style. Like, for instance, people started to compare Paper Bag to India's, and they're like, so you seem to have this sort of style, and then India, you have this sort of style. Like, how did you like find that? Like, why did you make things like? And there was a very kind of style centric obsession from what I assume are like recent graduates or like people trying to just break in. And I almost think like worrying about style is like putting the cart before your horse and trying to get your horse to push it rather than pull it. Like you're like trying to you're trying to discover something first so you can use it to make things with, but really making things will just like the byproduct of it, of simply making stuff, will have the way you made it emerge no matter what you do. Like investing worry, care, or making it a focus, I think is distracting from the craft of just do to do. And I always felt like style was something that you can't avoid. It's kind of like in the bones of everything you make. And I think emulation, if you like consciously emulate, is you just adopting something on top of your already established layer of how you approach making stuff.
Yeah, like style is something that develops naturally. It's a combination of things that influence you and things you like that you have absorbed through your time practicing and just looking at art. The things that you like doing, the way you like to draw hands or eyes. And that's not something where I've been like, I like the way this hand looks, so I'm always going to draw hands like this now. It's something that is like a combination of my natural way of drawing with all the things that I'm influenced by artistically. So right now I'm trying to draw in Philip's style, but there's still an underlying Indianness to it. And it's not because I'm deliberately doing that, it's just because it's unavoidable for me, because the way I draw is specific to me.
Yeah.
But it's not something that I need to think about, it's just something that happens naturally as a byproduct of me being the one who's doing it. But I don't know whether this happened to anyone else. I always kind of assumed that it was just my university, because it's weird that everyone would have the same thought process in terms of style. But in my university, they definitely pushed style as being something that they were very unhelpful about it. At my university, we were told that we needed to find our unique style, and that was what was going to make us different, and that was what was going to get us hired. Is that something that other people were told and have experienced? Because after working out of university and maturing into my art a little bit, it's completely wrong to think of it that way.
Well, as an animator, if you work on someone else's vision under an art director, they will almost give you a style model sheet to work from.
Mm-hmm. And you'll have to adopt that.
You need to, yeah. You
But
need
then
to emulate that.
You still won't be able to stop your style from coming through, though, is my point. Because
Yeah.
it's not something that you ever need to consciously think about. Ever. Like, you already have your style. You will already draw hands different to anyone else. Like,
Yeah.
if anyone was to draw a hand now, it would look very different to the hand that I'd draw.
India's working on... Oh, wait. Oh.
Ooh.
Will it work? Trashbot. You got the info. Do it. Do it, Trashbot. Believe in you. Come on.
Go, Trashy, go.
Oh, I thought that was Trashbot for a second there.
Hardik, your university was too powerful.
Okay, I'll just say, India's working on an animation for, it's a little promotional piece for a book called Savage Town. I thought I'd set up a command for it, space that, and it was going to be like, whoa, look, the bot can tell you. But yeah, they're sleeping.
Yeah, sorry, Space Dad. Our bot is still in training. Yeah, Verti, we were told the same thing. And approaching it did feel like approaching it backwards. Approaching it from what makes my art special versus let's learn how to draw in the first place. Felt really artificial because I was trying to learn how to make my art look individual and have a gimmick before even knowing how to draw properly. You know? I learned since that developing style comes through the practice that you do.
Batissimo worked on Twitch. Good to know.
Awesome. I like that approach, Tyler.
The YouTube one came through. Good job.
Came through eventually. I have to try and draw this hand with a finger. Pointing towards the camera. That's awesome, Space Dad. What a cool idea.
Yeah, that's super cool.
It's always fun to study with a buddy. Help each other along. What is this hand?
Emlet says that they have zero patience with actively practicing, so they just learn by finishing drawing.
Yeah, it's a good way to learn. Just get your stuff done. Just trying new stuff.
I recently stumbled over a folder of PSDs that I have like abandoned over time with just like half strung together ideas that I do want to go back to and just like make paintings based off of that are just like all over the shop, not stylistically so much, but like I had ideas kind of like this one of just like art pieces I want to do.
I think that's really classy. Like, I like the fact that you just do pieces that aren't any kind of popular media, they're just nice images you want to make.
Yeah.
There's a timelessness to that, you know?
I think Hardwick's right there in saying that Emlet has a recognizable like if I see a piece of art by it, like
Oh yeah, you can tell.
I can tell that there's something about it that makes it recognizable to Emlet.
Definitely. Likewise with Hardwick's animation. I feel like there's something you can see of Hardwick in there where you can tell it's Hardwick doing it because of the way the characters are moving.
Yeah.
Their facial expressions, the way they're drawn.
There was something that I saw, I think David was writing, that gone.
Oh no. We lost it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see what Bertie was saying too. See. Bertie says, one of the things I had trouble with as a kid is that I got plenty of praises and rewards for my art skills, which is good for support, but there wasn't any teaching about when you suck at something. So unfortunately, when I was in college and saw so many more skilled artists than in my little town, I was thinking to myself, wait, I gotta be better. Which also hurts me now when I'm trying to learn something new, because I still have that auto thought of I feel like I should be doing it right sooner than what I'm doing.
Right, gotcha. I think that's the one I was trying to find.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting. I had the same experience because I grew up in school and high school being the art kid, you know? I was the one who drew all the time, the one who could draw, the one who was always in my sketchbook or in my homework planner doodling. And then I got to university and suddenly I was in a whole class of people who had been the art kid.
Right, gotcha.
And suddenly I was like, oh wow, this person's so many levels above me in terms of drawing. What have I been doing? Yeah, it was really a wake-up call.
Yeah. I think we I think we adapt in a way where we compete within the context that we find ourselves, which I think is why it's really important, like when you're in university, to look beyond your class.
Yeah.
Or like what is happening in the wider world.
Don't compare yourself to your classmates, compare yourself to the people who are doing CalArts films or your favourite animators online. Like, learn from the best. If you want to become good at something, you have to learn from people much more skilled than you. Being stuck in a small pond doesn't end up doing anyone any good.
Yeah.
Because you don't realise you should be pushing for anything more.
Which is a lot of pressure.
Yeah. That's why I'm a big advocate for tackling stuff before you feel like you're ready for it, TM. It's just, even if you fail, even if you faceplant, the fact that you were aiming for something will show you how far away you are from it. And you'll be much closer by aiming for it than you would be if you were still, you know, just stuck in your own bracket, as it were.
Yeah, I think if you have the approach of like, I'll do it when I'm ready, you're in control of the criteria of ready, and whether you consciously or unconsciously do it, you'll shift those goalposts.
Well, the thing is, does anyone ever feel ready for anything?
I don't know.
I don't think I ever have.
Do you think this feeling of I'm ready for this is only attributable on something that you're doing for the second time?
I've never felt it even on second time.
Okay. Yeah.
Because after you've done it once, you want to do it better the next time, right?
Well, I just mean, like, say when I go, hey, are you ready to start the stream? And you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can feel ready to start streaming.
I'd never feel ready to start streaming.
You just have to say yeah.
It's just like, well, it's time.
Oh,
so
enough.
It's now or never. You know, I either say no and try and spend more time preparing and getting myself into a secure mental place and feeling like, you know, I feel confident about topics which could come up, or I have X at work to show people, to show that I've been doing stuff, or, you know, I feel like I'm not hungry anymore. Like, whatever it is, the point is that the deadline's there and it's yes or no.
Yeah.
And you just have to do the best with what you have, because that's what time it is. It's like, if you're preparing for a competition, there'll come a point where the competition date's there. And it's not because you feel ready, it's just because, well, this is the most I could do in this time. So I'm as ready as I can be for this deadline. But it doesn't mean I feel ready. I would love another 3 months training.
Yeah. I think feeling ready is like the
Oh, Space Dad, don't feel like a phony. I mean, I know that me saying that isn't going to just magically cure it, but number one, that's something everyone feels, even the people at Powerhouse. And number two, you're working hard at your craft every single day. Ain't nothing phony about that.
Yeah.
We're all in the same boat here. We're all legitimate artists. It can be intimidating though. I know how you feel, because I felt the same way 100%. But it's so much easier to give someone else advice than it is to follow your own advice.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, Patrick is a great people person.
He's
very encouraging.
Yeah.
Like he always makes you feel respected.
That's a really good way of putting it. Like, it always feels like he's listening.
What do you mean?
It always feels like he's taking what you said into consideration.
Yeah. Like Patrick sees you as an equal member of the discussion or the team or whatever part you have, whatever role you play. Even though everyone else is intimidated by Patrick's skill, Patrick sees everyone as equal on the team or in the discussion.
Yeah.
And that's a really nice feeling. David, you were only just now told about what imposter syndrome was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that it's a real thing. And I think we all have it pretty much all the time. I know I did. You know, when I got hired at Boulder Media. And I know I did when I got hired at Sega. And I know I did when I got hired as a teacher. And I know I do on the projects I'm working on now. But, you know, in the end, you just got to give it your best. And have confidence that the people in charge know what they're doing in bringing you on board.
I think Space Ad saying I tend to gush with insecurity at Patrick when I talk to him in DMs. I feel like I got to cut down on that because I very much want to learn from Patrick and put good efforts to try and follow the lead of amazing people like him. That reminds me a lot of I was listening to Dan Naran. I think it was like a clips, like a
compilation.
Compilation, that's the word. And one of the topics that came up was like reading emails from fans, or reading emails from people who, you know, they don't necessarily know but know of them, and their constructive feedback on those is like, I get so many emails where people start with an apology for taking up my time, and they're like, oh, we completely understand like why people do that, but like, I'm already there reading the email. I've already chosen to open it, and I'm reading. And if they have to read through the apology, it takes more time away from you just getting to what is you want to say. I think it's important to push past that little insecurity, kind of almost like not barrier so much, but it's like if every time you reach out you were having to reach through that little thing, then the other person that's like listening to you has to like reach through it as well, and there's a little energy cost on both sides for that. Whereas if you just sort of acknowledge it but push it to the side and be like, hi, I want to talk to you about this, both sides kind of benefit from not having to retread similar ground. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it just made me realize, like, when you go, I'm sorry for taking up your time.
That was interesting to hear someone's perspective on it, who is a role model to a lot of people, who regularly gets people who are very nervous talking to them, saying, hey, don't worry about it. You know, that's helpful.
Yeah.
I know that if I ever got to talk to Dan or Aaron, I would be a blubbering mess.
You'd be on the floor.
I would. But Space said, I really empathise with what you're saying there. I feel like our insecurities can be a massive hamper to us when talking to people, and in trying to overcompensate for them, we often end up actually just playing into them. Like, I have a big insecurity about being a dumbass, essentially, because there's a ton of stuff I don't know. And so sometimes in conversation when I'm with someone, I want to think I'm smart, who I want to think I'm a cool, smart person. I will pretend I know more about a subject than I do. And then guess what happens? They talk to me about it. And I have no clue what to say about it. And I look like a dumbass because I started talking about something I had no clue how to follow up on.
Whereas you could use that as an opportunity to learn about something that the person is interested in, and asking questions gives them the opportunity to help you, but it also gives them something to talk about, which gives them a little support beam in the conversation.
Well, I don't want to be ashamed either when I'm talking, and I think it's a lot about letting go of ego. So that's one of the things I'm working on, is learning to be okay with being like, oh no, I don't know who that person is, or where is that, or no, what happened, or oh, I haven't been following the news, what's going on. Or just being okay to admit when, like, I've got no clue.
Yeah.
Rather than to try and walk the walk. Or rather, trying to talk the talk without being able to walk the walk. Rolando is getting too overly friendly. Yeah, Emla, I feel the same. Like, I do most things just by gut. I'm also a terribly forgetful person, which can be really embarrassing sometimes. But you know what? I've got to own that embarrassment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm forgetful. That's who I am. If you know me, be prepared for me to forget stuff all the time.
Be prepared for me to forget you.
Oh, Verti, that's really helpful. Yeah. Verti says, I've learned quite a few things at my part-time wine clerk job, and one of the best things I've learned is knowing I can and am allowed to say, I don't know. Yeah, because that's a position in which you are expected to be somewhat of an authority, or at least know more than the customer. So the pressure there to always know what you're talking about must be on. But it's definitely much better just to say, I don't know, and then someone can tell you, and then you can know, than it is to pretend to know and then fall into all the pitfalls associated with not actually knowing.
I think we can sometimes assume that people are more together than they are.
Absolutely this. Yes.
And just knowing that you have like a common ground there, that like you be in a social circle and be like, oh my god, why aren't they talking to me? And the other person going, oh my god, why am I not talking to them? And why is this awkward? And they could just like go round and round. Oh no, my monitor turned off. I can't see the conversation.
Oh no.
But yeah, given it, not for instance on that, but what I was thinking about just before I said that was me and India only recently started talking to
Each other.
Yeah.
No, I'm
It's been
joking.
a hard 6 years, but we've finally managed to hold conversation.
I'm sorry, Mike. Go on.
I'm trying to turn my monitor on while I do this. Come on. I think the heat, like it's like a touch pad thing that's in the thing. I think it just heats up and thinks it can touch my hand.
It is really hot today for Ireland.
There we go. Yeah, I was gonna say I only recently started talking to David, who's in the chat. Hey, David.
Hey, David.
And I feel like we quickly established a kind of casual, jokey rapport with one another. Pretty fast, like faster than I'm used to. But I think I just sort of like saw what kind of jokes and what I could get away with, and just sort of like just lent into it more than I maybe necessarily would.
What gave you the confidence to do that, do you think? Because I'm still intimidated by David.
I'm not sure. I think maybe just how. Then okay, this is weird because I'm now talking about someone who can hear me. It's just how easygoing, David made it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I've learned so much from working with people like David and Patrick, and it's because I was okay to be like, hey, I need help with this. I don't know how you do this, and how do you do that kind of thing? I've never seen that before.
You know what it might have been? It might have been that because we're working with David at the same time as the kind of. You're talking about another David, right? I think maybe because we were working with David at the same time as the casual stuff was forming, it was like, shit, I have no time to, like, there isn't any time.
I can't pussyfoot around.
I can't dick around. I think because there was more pressure to like to get familiar and be able to like have a back and forth.
Was it a fuck it moment?
Yeah, I think so.
My favourite kind of moments are the moments where you go, you know what, just fuck it. I'm just gonna do the thing, or talk to the person, or post the art, or whatever it is that you're scared of doing. Sometimes just saying to yourself, you know what, fuck it, is the most helpful thing you can do.
yeah. Sometimes I agree.
Yeah, Rolando, 100%. Like every single person I've met who does art has something that I admire about the way they do it that is individual to them. Everyone approaches it differently and everyone has their own skill set, and there's so much to learn from everyone. It's one of the things that makes it exciting about being in a big group of artists is there are so many viewpoints and there are so many different things you can learn from everyone.
I think this song's a bit too.
Ha! 30v2. That actually used to be Mike and I's slogan when we first got together.
It was, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. Fuck.
Just fuck it. You know, there's nothing more therapeutic, I think, than saying that sometimes there are things that feel super big and important in your life, but which you then realise you have the control over, to yay or nay.
Yeah.
It helps put things in perspective a bit.
Like, I did the Bare Naked Ladies book and put it on the table at Thought Bubble last year, and I was like, how are people gonna react to this? Because I've only ever been behind a screen. It was fun. Seeing people's reactions, it got easier and easier. Like, every time the next person picked up the book and looked through it, they would have mainly 2 reactions to it. One would be like, whoa, I wasn't expecting the literal title to be literal, and the other one was the kind of laughter, and I enjoyed both, so it became more and more fun.
Yeah, it's often the case, isn't it, that once you take the plunge, the fear quickly evaporates. Like, we're all scared of stuff before we do it, but as soon as we actually dip a toe in, we often realise that it's not as scary as we thought it was going to be. You know, talking to this or that person isn't as scary as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Patrick's probably landing now.
Yes. Yeah, Patrick will be landing. In Ireland. He's here.
It's alright, Jarry.
He's going to be so tired. Yeah. He's been travelling since like 3 o'clock his time yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, Verti, yeah, that's so important. Is learning when to stop polishing something. Like, we all want our next piece of work to be our magnum opus. To be, like, perfect and the best thing we've ever done. But at a certain point, you're going to gain more benefit from moving on to the next thing and learning from the mistakes that you've inevitably made than sticking with the one thing and trying to polish it. Like, I wasn't 100%, well, yeah, speaking frankly, the Game Grumps Variations work I did, I wasn't very proud of that at the time. Like, Mike will tell you, as soon as we submitted it, I was actually very down-spirited about it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it wasn't because I'd had to get help from you and Hardik, because you guys, like, really knocked it out of the park. It was awesome, and you really helped me out. It was more just that I'd always seen it in my head as being this amazingly animated thing, and I didn't feel like I lived up to my own expectations because of the fact that I didn't have much time to work on it because of all the work I was doing. I felt like I had to cut a lot of corners, and it wasn't the standard I was hoping it would be.
Yeah.
But in retrospect now, looking back, I'm really glad that I let it go when I did. Because seeing everyone's reactions to it, you know, seeing people really enjoying the video of Game Grumps Variations and going back and watching the video multiple times, it's such a nice thing to be a part of. And I was stressing myself out way too much and putting way too much pressure on myself over something that, like, I can now see the good parts of. I was like way too close to it before. And now in retrospect, I'm like, hey, you know what? That is fun. It doesn't have to be perfect to be good. And it doesn't have to be perfect for me or for anyone else to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I definitely learned a lot from doing it. And I think that's affected my client work a lot too. Just in terms of, I dive into it now much more readily. I try to be intimidated by the work less. Because honestly, no good has ever come to my work from me being intimidated by starting a project or doing something or putting pressure on myself. I've learned from experience now that what happens when I put pressure on myself or get intimidated by a project is that my animation comes out stiff.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a looseness, and sometimes you can only get that looseness by not feeling like it has to be perfect.
Did I say that? I don't remember saying that.
That's very wise though, Mike.
Carly's just got me. You might not like it, but it might bring joy to you.
Yeah, it's very
Oh,
true.
Oh wait, did I not say that about Hardik posting his thing on Twitter?
Maybe.
Yeah, I know. I remember now. I remember the context. Yeah, I think it was. I think it might have been Hardik's part in Game Grumps variation. And recently on a stream of mine and Effie's friend, he and the friend on stream mentioned my part in Game Grumps variations, and he said it was his favorite part. And mind you, he said this in front of actual thousands of people watching live. So I was like, ah!
That's amazing. And Bertie, yours is definitely one of my favorite parts too. It cracks me up so much. That Aaron laugh, it's just legendary. It's so good. Wise bear. It's true. I think that's the wonderful thing about art, is it can really make a difference to people.
It can change mindset.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, David, that'd be cool. David says that he's dying to do a Grumps animated one day.
Oh man, me too. Me too. It feels weird that I haven't done one already, because people know me mostly for doing like the animated grump thing.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to do one.
Yeah,
Is it game? Yeah, it was. It was 2017. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it, to think it was 2 years ago?
Yeah. But you know, since that was made, you've made a
mess.
made a fair few things in this space.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it, because a lot of it I haven't been able to release yet.
I think you just email either Aaron or Vernon Valanda.
Yeah, in fact, if you check out Patrick Stanner's Twitter, he did a thread about Game Grumps Animated recently, and he dropped all of the emails and stuff at the bottom of the thread.
Yeah. I think probably link to your work, link to the and then mention which
episode you want to do.
Yeah, which audiobook.
Yes, Savio, see how many of us you can spot in there. Ooh, Rolando, that'd be awesome. A pixel art one.
That would be really cool.
I remember there being a pixel art section in the animator Grump one we did. And that was one of my favourites just because it was so cool to see such a different style.
Yeah.
I'd really like to do a sock puppet Game Grumps animated.
That'd be pretty good.
With 2D animated effects.
That'd be pretty. Yeah.
So I need an F shape. I've got fuck off.
Indeed. Probably likes your idea, Danny Sock.
Yes. I mean, I had the idea a little while ago before they actually made sock puppets, but I would still love to do it even though they've now have canonical sock sewers. I would still love to make a Danny sock and an Aaron sock and do an animated like that.
Yeah.
Because it would be fast and fun to do, and you could make some physical sets for it, which would be ridiculous. You know, you could film some stuff outside.
Green screen something.
Yeah, you could do ridiculous effects with 2D. Oh, Tyler, that'd be awesome. I mean, I love Gumball. I think it's amazing how it incorporates all the different types of animation into the show and yet somehow still hangs together visually.
Yeah. I think they have triumphs in that.
Absolutely fascinating.
The first season of that was done in the studio that India worked at, and there's kind of like not horror stories, but the kind of thing of like, oh my god, it was so hard to blend all of those. It's such a hassle for them because that's like several different pipelines for a smallish animation studio to handle, all combined into one project.
Yeah. It's a shame it wasn't still going when I was there because I love Gumball. But then I love Wanderer Beyond too, so I was honoured and stoked to be able to work with that.
Yeah. You rocked it, India.
Thanks, man. I wish that I had come on sooner so that I could get my hands on more episodes. But I'll take it.
Oh, same to you, Bertie.
Bertie, are you coming to the meetup?
She's not what she wants here.
Oh, man. Oh, man. We're on Verti's hug list. That's the best place to be. Whereabouts do you live, Verti? You probably have told me in the past, but I was forgotten. Because we're thinking to save to come over to America at some point.
America's a big...
We've been getting jealous looking at all the people going to Pico and looking at the amazing arena show that NSP are going to be playing this year and just seeing all the awesome stuff that goes on.
Oh yeah, that arena show in Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah, and you know who lives in Chicago?
Kevin.
Kevin.
He's promised me pizza. I must go.
A real American pizza.
Chicago deep pan.
Well, you know that means that we have to also try New York pizza and compare the two.
And we've had Romani pizza from Rome. So we gotta add to our
pizza experience list. Oh, Verti lives in Philly.
Oh.
What was it that we were looking at in Philly recently?
Pico Day.
You see, we could go to Pico Day and also see Verti, except Pico Day is already done in 2019. But
Next year.
one thing Mike and I are looking at potentially doing is putting one of the commercial projects we recently worked on with people into festivals. If we're able to do it, we're still looking into it because you need to have certain licenses and things to use commercial projects. But if we're able to do it, then it might allow us to travel more, which would be amazing because we don't have really the funds to travel. But if we were subsidized because we had a film in a festival, then we could actually go and see a few new places and maybe meet some people.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome. All I want is enough money to be able to go and see all the people that I'm friends with and visit them.
Just all the money and all the time.
That's all I'd use it for. Yeah, so Verti Pico Day is, I think it's the convention arranged by Ivan Almighty for Newgrounds creators.
So Pico Day is like a celebration of Tom Falk's birthday, and so I think traditionally it was like an online kind of competition, but over the years it became a physical event. I think it's like a small gathering party rather than a because I think there is a Newgrounds convention. But this is a sort of gathering of maybe a couple hundred. I don't know too much more about it.
Yeah.
I know that
because we are not Newgrounds creators, but you've worked with a couple of people who went and they said that they wanted you to come along, if possible, next time.
yeah, so Ivan and Andobiki both worked on the Star Bomb video. And I think Kevin said he was talking to them. And that I did some good colors and stuff.
You sure did.
Run your own animation studio and then just travel everywhere to visit all your remote freelance contacts, network, all.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
We don't run it, but we are part of it.
Yeah, Kevin was just there. Like, we were getting jealous because we were seeing a bunch of the animators that we know on Twitter, like, talking about how amazing it was, and we were like, we want to go so bad. So we'd love to try and make that happen at some point. It'd be a great excuse to go to the States.
Yeah.
And to see a bunch of people. Maybe, Verti, we need to make it our mission, all three of us, to go to the next one. Just like how I missed that Florence concert. I'm sorry to bring back bad memories. But yeah, I mean, one of the hard things about America is that all the people we'd want to meet are all in different places. So if everyone's going to be at one event, that definitely makes it easier.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it. Do it, Verti. Oh man, that'd be amazing. We won't hold you to it in case something comes up, but how cool would that be?
Yeah, accommodation is so much cost of. It's crazy. All you need is a bed.
You'd need a shower, Mike. going to convention. I will not allow you to have a shower as optional.
How was your guys' first ever airport experience alone? Mine was a bit weird. I had to sleep at the airport the night before because it was such an early flight, and because I don't drive, I had to get like buses and stuff to the airport. And they didn't run early enough to catch the flight, so I kind of stuck. That was a bit surreal.
Mine was fine. Like, it was actually quite exciting and exhilarating. I really liked it. I got lost because I'm India, but I just asked the staff, like, where do I go?
Where do I go?
Yeah, and they told me, and it was awesome. I was like, I'm on a plane on my own. Adult.
Successfully adult.
I'm an adult. The singer Pink is from your town. That's awesome. She sang that cool song. I forgot what it is.
Do we got hosting on the West Coast? I don't think we got West Coast hosting.
Do we got hosting on the West Coast, yeah?
If we do, I'm a yawning bot.
Your choir director from high school taught her. That's so cool. She's the one who was like, I'm trouble. Yeah, trouble now. I'm trouble. I'm a bee in your face. Yeah, trouble. This trouble now. It's trouble time. That kind of.
Nice.
Yeah. I remember that. Awesome. I wonder if she ever comes back. Flights to Philly for a week are around 850 euros, so probably about 1,000. That's the problem, is there's like no way we have the finances to travel anywhere at the minute. Barely have the finances to like pay for rent and food at the minute.
So did I mention we have Patreon?
I don't think we're going to be able to get a spare 800 from the Patreon. Honestly, if we did, it would go on rent and we'd be like, safe for a month. But on the bright side, we've taken some part-time work, and fingers crossed that's going to allow us to save a little bit of money, because it doesn't pay badly. Like, if we get the amount that we're asking for, we should be able to put aside a little bit, and we can put that into a travel fund.
Yeah.
And then we have to select carefully the place.
Well, fill our suitcase full of money, and then travel with it like some sort of idiot.
Yep. Make sure all the notes like poking out of the corners of the suitcase.
No, don't touch my bag. Oh no, my brain just went, hey, you can make this a wraparound t-shirt. Like, no.
Oh, you totally should. It's so much more work. I love it.
No. Yeah, maybe.
It was your idea. You suggested it. What does your heart tell you?
But make your heart be true.
It would be hecking cool. Ooh. David says, if all works out, quite possible I can make it to your side of the world for work reasons. Come and pet the cat. She needs snuggles, which our hands cannot supply. Too many. You should definitely come visit. We'll put you up. I promise I won't cook.
I like that. I promise I won't cook.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. Let me alleviate your fears. The nutrition you'll find will all be salvaged and sourced from reliable sources outside of my kitchen.
I knew what he was thinking. I knew what he was worried about. I know why people don't visit.
You're the master of fear, India.
I am. We might have to head off because it's 9:45.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Let me see if these mouse shapes look like they're roughly going the right direction. Almost. I feel like I need to act at the end of his speech a little bit more. As he goes, fuck off. So it feels like the needs something.
You swore.
I would never swear. I don't know what you're talking about.
I heard you.
Shit whack.
Shit's whack, though.
Ah, Verti, that'd be awesome. Yes. We would have all sorts of recommendations. We would ask Elle to give us them and then give them to you.
Oh, yeah.
Because Elle's really good at recommendations. And you'd be welcome to come and stay if you wanted to.
Yeah, our experience of Ireland is super limited. Like, we know the city centre and how to get to the city centre.
How to get back from the city centre.
Back from the city centre. Yeah.
And where the comic shop is.
Yeah, we know that. And the cinema. I can tell you where the cinema. And some good eating places too.
That's true. Speaking of eating, I'm going to go and attack some breakfast.
Attack it.
I will. I'm going to go hunting on the plains.
Okay.
Catch myself a cheese sando.
A cheese sando?
Or some other exotic creature.
I really want a cheese sandwich.
But I always use all parts of the creature, even the crusts. So don't worry.
Oh, imagine there was just this little Dublin, like, cheese sandwiches just wandering around. Like Pokemon.
It'd be adorable, wouldn't it? I wouldn't be able to eat them. It would put me off cheese sandwiches for life.
They'd have little eyes. And they would drool a little, like little melted cheese drool.
Oh, now I'm just disgusted. Now I don't want to. Now you've likened the mayonnaise to drool.
Not the mayo, smell the cheese.
Like
Anyway.
a toasty.
India's giving me the side eye.
I am.
Like, hey, hit that button, yeah.
I'm also just kind of looking at what you're painting. I haven't seen it all through.
Oh, you want to see?
Yeah.
That's it.
Ooh. I want that bear on my body. I want her body on my body now.
You want her bare body on your bare body?
I do. I can cover up my bareness with her bareness.
That's so the slogan. Cover your bareness. We've got your bareness covered.
He's staring at me. I don't know how to break it to him. So I'm just gonna give him the thumbs up. There you go.
Give me real praise.
You're an attractive man.
I don't believe you.
Better believe me.
Or what?
Or I'll tickle and poke you.
It's a classic compla threat.
I'll tickle and poke you.
Okay, we're gonna head off. We will be back on Friday. It's gonna be another one of those Fan Art Friday things where India's gonna continue drawing your Full Metal Alchemist piece.
Yes.
And maybe you can come there and throw us some extra ideas for things you want to see us make. We're making prints for Thought Bubble this year.
That's something we're doing. Because we're going. And we're gonna have some new things.
Yeah. Let me just put the end screen up. Whoop. And cool. Trashbot, play us out with some, I don't know, animations or something. And yeah, we will be back on Friday.
Everyone have an awesome week. May all your dreams come true between now and then.
And may the rest
Of your day.
be filled
With
adventure. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Love you.
I just muted my microphone.